Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. It is August the 9th, 2021. Welcome to another episode, another edition of Cutting Edge. My name is Felicia, and joining me, as usual, is my beautiful co host who did not sleep too well last night, and she and I will both tell you why we didn't sleep well last night. We share the same problem. Lima McLeod Wilkinson. Good morning, Lima.
Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good
Lima and I
morning.
yeah, it really is one of those good mornings because both Lima and I, who live Belmont, woke up in some heat this morning, early
With
this
the
morning, 2 o'clock.
with the mosquito tabernacle choir in your ears. Ah.
According to Lima, the Mosquito Tabernacle Choir. Electricity went in Belmont East, I will have to say, or Belmont, no, North of Belmont, East of Belmont, into Lavin. I don't know. I just know when I wake up this morning, I was sweating. And when I looked outside, it was pitch black.
Yeah.
And we had a couple hours of that heat. And
Because it only came back around minutes after 4 this morning.
mhm. And I fell asleep probably about 4:15, knowing that my alarm is going to go off in about an hour and a half. And I say I'll take whatever I could get
Yeah, well.
in terms of sleep. But thanks to Tech, it's an early morning for both of us. It's an early kind of sleepy, half asleep morning. When I see Lima face, I ask her what's going on, and I realize that electricity went by
Yeah.
her as well. But
And I am on the grid with the Lady Young. So anytime anything happens there, we lose power immediately. So
you're on
if
the
it have a
grid with who?
with Lady Young, with the lookout and all of them on the Lady Young there. So
Mm.
any landslide that pull down a wire or a pole or anything, we will automatically lose electricity one time here. So to have that go through, and then about after current gone, I woke up immediately because I can't sleep without the fan. I called T and Tech Trouble Report line and tell them, current go on. They say, yeah, we know. So a crew will be out there. It take a flicking crew out in the whole hour. And you know how they just drive slow on your handy vehicle, and it's like, oh God, I could put some pep in that step. And like they couldn't find the problem because when they left and they went round the corner or up the hill or whatever, then it's either another truck came or that same one came back around, and you see them driving slow with the torchlight. So all the time looking through my window, and it's like, oh God, please save me. Save me. The heat unbearable. It's not a nice experience. It's definitely remind you of third world madness. And then on top of that, I'm having a water crisis. Wassa with a disrespectful self didn't tell me in a broadcast, which I would have preferred, that the El Socorro pump breakdown since last week Wednesday. So I didn't get water since last week Wednesday. So Friday, when I realized I on my last tank, I called and they say, yeah, the El Socorro pump breakdown. And I was like, well, you didn't let people know this? Yeah, you put it on
That is,
Facebook. I don't religiously check on your Facebook page.
I was about to say that also makes two of us. I mean, these days, I thought we were living in a first world country. I was getting water in my shower almost 24/7. And the day that I turned on the tap and nothing came out, I'm like, Brooks, what's happening here? It's like, is this 2000? Are we back in 2020? What's
More
going
like
on? But
just swinging from vines.
as it turns out, yes, we having some water woes. So Belmont, we having water woes, we having light woes, we having flooding woes.
Yeah, imagine that. Flooding in the street, but none in my pipe. No water in my pipe. Right? It raising up all the road that the Belmont East Council was so proud to talk about how they paved there. I know what kind of shit job they do because it just raising up like, when you do a jigsaw puzzle and you bounce it and a piece just raise up, that's how it's looking in
Hmm.
the road.
That is how it's looking. I saw some more pictures of the flooding
Mm-hmm.
yesterday. It seems like that's just the MO now for Belmont. When it rains, it floods.
Yeah, yeah. The
And
volume of water that came down in my yard, I said, right, so downtown flood. And with those rains came snails and all kind of nasty, crawly stuff. So see me outside like some obia lady throwing bait and salt, black disinfect going around my place. Because I don't like those things and I don't want them near me. And then I have my dog. So it's all kind of thing. From one thing to the next.
I see Doll talking about she's having power surges by her. That's exactly what we were talking about before we
Yeah.
started on the flooding. Yes, just actually last night the before electricity went, there was a dip in power and
Yeah, we get
it
to
went
move
for
on
about a
with it.
minute and then this
I
morning
have a video with my lamp in my living room flickering, and it's like, should I call my electrician to see if that's an internal problem, or should I call T and Tech to find out if it's them?
or should
And
I
it's like,
call Ghostbusters? You sure you don't have ghosts? Flickering lamps? That's like the stuff horror movies are made of.
I know exactly, and the only thing I don't have is that icky corridor to walk down while it flickering. Thank God.
Folks, good morning. As you see, my eyes are on and off the screen. I am sharing the video. So as soon as you join the live program this morning, hit share to your newsfeed, to your groups, to your pages, to your your WhatsApp, etc. Because we are building up to a lovely discussion this morning. I mean, we started on flooding, or we were talking about flooding. So maybe we'll continue that
Yes, with
we'll
what we
continue
noticed
on that
here.
trend, or should we talk about what's reopening today? We can now
No,
go on.
we can talk about what the mayor say. Dispose of your garbage properly.
Let's
And
talk
I
about
had
what the
to do
mayor
a
said.
post, and I had to do a post, and I was like, "But this man is an idiot, a major idiot." If Porter Spring Corporation and his council and him by extension would focus the same determination of putting fake friggin' grass on a public park into garbage collection, garbage disposal, recycling, bins all over Port of Spain, we wouldn't have this problem. But then flooding is not, this garbage is not the only problem causing flooding, because when you looked at downtown Port of Spain, you hardly saw garbage, you know. You saw branches and trees and bamboo and wood, things that came down from the mountains. So again, town and country, as well as their engineering departments, not doing the job to go up to see what people doing and cutting down mountain and building up the establishments that causing flooding. And then when all these people put up the high rise this or cut down the mountain to do all kind of fanciness, and you build your fancy drains coming down in steps, right? And then when you do that, and then all that volume of water coming down, and then the drains will never upgrade down below to accommodate the volume of water that will be now coming down the mountain. What you expect? And then he wants to talk about dispose of your garbage properly. They should take you for a walk around Belmont. Nearly every corner have garbage. Dispose of your garbage properly. That is your responsibility that you can't even do. And you want to talk about, so you want us to dispose of our garbage ourselves then? Let me go and drop it by the dump too.
There are two things that I don't understand. Okay, one I don't understand as it pertains to flooding. Why do we always blame flooding? And I was asking you this earlier when we were talking. Why do we always blame flooding on littering? Or rather, why do we blame flooding on littering only? I agree. Trinidad and Trinidadians, Trinbagonians, we are actually, let me just speak for Tobagonians, because when I go to Tobago,
They have more
usually
pride
look
than
very clean. They have a lot of pride in their surroundings.
Yeah.
Trinidadians especially, we are some very dirty people.
Not
And
only that, Felicia, you see the ignorance of the government. Why they remove half of the bins in Portersville? Oh, because somebody dropped a bomb in it. Okay, and because of that, no more bins. So why didn't put it in the 3 bins that they
wait,
have on
that was the
26
rationale
now?
behind removing the bins?
Yes. When Manning was prime minister, they threw the bomb outside Frederick Street that damaged the woman and all of that nonsense that happened that we still never find out who do it, and he knew the Mr. Big and went down dead with it.
I don't understand. So those two things. One, why do we always blame flooding on garbage or garbage only? And like I was starting to say, I agree. We are very nasty Trinidadians. But then that is the second issue that I don't understand. Why are bins so hard to find? Why, if I walk between here, as in Park Street, all the way down Park and Richmond Street, all the way down to Park and Charlotte Street, why will I only see 1 or 2 bins, if so many?
You'll get a bin outside City Hall, Motor Live, and Scotiabank. And that's the bins where they have the separation with glass bottles, plastic, and paper. That's it. That is all the bins for Frederick Street. Unless you walk through Woodford Square, then they have those bins. But you don't have the amount of bins that you're supposed to be seeing. You're supposed to give people the opportunity to not litter, because a bin is supposed to be at arm's length, basically, to dispose of anything. Why they ain't doing that? But he wants to talk about dispose your garbage wisely. Half of Belmont, and I did a post on that, half of Belmont, like Leon Hill Stairs, they used to have a bin long time, they remove it because I don't know what was the problem with the bin. Now you just have people putting it at the bottom of the stairs. When rain fall and it flood, and that going to wash away, who fault is that, the residents or Port of Spain Corporation? You're supposed to put a bin there so the people will have something to put the garbage in, because the garbage truck cannot go up Leon Hill because it's stairs. So how you expect dispose of garbage properly when Port of Spain Corporation has not done their part? And I'm not blaming the corporation workers or the corporation.
You're blaming the institution as responsible for equipping the people.
Yeah. And then council is supposed to be seeking that part of it. You are supposed to put a bin there so that they could throw the garbage in that bin. So when the truck comes, they just go to the bin and they take out everything, not all over the pavement, and you have to be coming off the pavement to walk around it. Instead of studying fake grass, why didn't they study to put that a bin?
Where is this fake grass, by the way? I hear you talking about this fake grass.
That's what he wanted to put on King George V Park. As if that wouldn't cause more flooding. That man is such a jackass. The water, the grass right now, they also have a wasser pump on it, right? So wouldn't it have been better, because of the volume of water you get in, to maybe have some sort of runoff from there to some other wasser facility close enough to get the water from that area? With fake grass, what you think going to happen? Not obviously run off and go waste, when you could try and catch the water and use it for something else. For Port of Spain Corporation self to now use to probably wash down stink Duke Street, stink Frederick Street, stink Queen Street.
Richard Jones said while waiting on limo around the savannah for a workout.
Hey, Richard.
While there are many bins that are all filled to the brim and spilled out on the grass. Then they passed to collect some, but what was left was blown to the side. Listen, nothing does infuriate me more than watching garbage collectors pick up garbage and see them like intentionally leave things that fall out, like, oh God, yeah.
That's forestry division, by the way. That's not the corporation. So again, you see how much different sectors you have? Yeah, because it's either
there's the forestry division, there's the horticultural division.
Yeah, they see about the savannah and the botanical gardens. You see how many grass is in the savannah? It's like, what? You could get lost in the height of that bush.
I guess that's not priority right now, while a million other things are happening. I'd like to believe. And Gillian Rook said the size of the bins are inadequate. That's
Yeah.
true. Like we need proper size bins. If we need a bin where 2 and 3 people don't throw away napkins and it overflowing already. We need bins that can separate glass and plastic and trash and recyclables. We need to take these things into food. So I'll never forget when we were celebrating the bus shed, the cow shed that they built, and spent how much on? 50, 100,000, 200,000. I can't remember how much money we spent in it. But the things we celebrate, the small wins that we celebrate as a country, tells me that we are in no way even prepared for first world status. Like,
that's because of these dinosaurs that we have in office. Look who was celebrating. Heinz. He can't even, when he celebrate, he must just be running from flood water. Like now you see Marval flood and the flood following him all the way to Hillsborough. You can't escape it. Your constituency underwater, where you're living now underwater. Take that.
Indeed. And moving from the issue of flood waters, I saw 1 or 2 people mention it. And yes, it is one of the topics for discussion this morning, that oil spill in the Gulf of Paria. The only reason it's not the top story this morning is because we have so many things competing to be number one in this country. But this particular issue and we have to discuss it on this program this morning, because as far as or as late as this morning, I did not hear anything on the mainstream media about this oil spill. Now, for those who follow Gary Aboud and Fisherman and Friends, he took a boat with some fishermen out to the Gulf of Paria yesterday. And he highlighted Petrotrin, but it's now Heritage and Paria Fuel. There was an oil spill in the Gulf of Paria yesterday. And when I tell you this was an oil spill, you remember the oil spill in Macondo, Lima, that BP oil spill back in 2010?
In where?
It was Macondo. I don't know exactly where that is, but I remember the name of the place that oil spill occurred. And I remember when that happened, and the kind of news that made international news for weeks and weeks and weeks. And then even today, the lawsuits that are still unsettled because of that oil spill that happened back in 2010. And I'm talking about that oil spill because in relation to what I saw yesterday, we are on par with what I saw happen in Macondo. And it mightn't be as big, but it's just as devastating.
We don't have the responsible management. We have a dead EMA, which, by the way, we should call for all of them who work in EMA to be fired immediately. Them, ODPM, and clearly OSHA, because none of them doing their job, none of that, they just saying, no, they ask and free money.
The fact that this has happened and it has not gathered national news, it is concerning to say the least. And I say that because there's something that I studied in school called a gender setting theory, and there's so many things that I used to read about in theory that I literally see happening now in practicality. A gender setting theory is when the media basically tells you what to think, and they tell you what to think by the news reports or the stories that make news every night. And the fact that we have a major oil spill like this taking place, it's ongoing. Yeah. I mean, you saw Gary's hand, you saw the fisherman's hand when they put it into the water, it comes up black. And I'm saying this because imagine the marine life that is being negatively impacted by this. Imagine how many fishes and turtles and sharks and everything else that lives and needs the ocean to live. Imagine what's happening there. And you saw the boats. They were explaining that the boats, instead of using gosh, it's slipping me now. Somebody will put this in the thread, I'm sure. Instead of using the equipment or using the boats to actually collect the
The
oil,
oil.
they were
They,
driving around and mashing it up so that it wasn't a solid mass anymore, so that it could sink, rather than actually cleaning up the spill so that
yeah. So
the
that it wouldn't
animals
affect
and
the
birds and
ecosystem.
the
Yeah, and you
oil
wouldn't
boom. Yes,
affect
thank you,
everything.
Stefan.
And it's like, what the hell is wrong with these people? Who is in charge of heritage? Who is the CEO? Who is the safety officer for heritage? These people need to be questioned. These people need to be held accountable. That's bullshit.
These people
OSHA
need
is
to be
supposed to
fired
get
in a
involved. This
real.
is why I don't get vexed with this government. And I say PNM and UNC, because you close down somewhere instead of you get competent people, you're going to bring in your friend and your family who don't know their ass from their elbow and get them position, they get big salary and they don't know what they're doing. So times like this, you have an emergency, what you're doing, all of them running around, what to do. Or let's just pretend and it will go away. They should catch fish there and go and make sure the president chef buy that fish and they cook it for all of flicking them. But you want our fishermen to go out in nets to catch fish to come back and feed who with it? The same fishermen that they would want to get no grants to.
Stefan Grandison just said, the moment a spill is identified, the containment must begin, not the case yesterday. I always thought that an oil spill was a huge thing. I always thought that when an oil spill happened, EMA, ODPM, National Security, Coast, I thought everybody was going to be deployed to the space or the location as an oil spill took place. And there was going to be a massive national, if not international, effort to clean up the spill. But as somebody said, that's not what happened yesterday, Stefan. That is not what happened yesterday.
No.
There will, if it wasn't for Gary Aboud,
we would have never known.
What would have been the case?
And then if Ria went out in a dress, they would have been like, why Ria went out on a boat in a dress instead of talk about the damn oil spill?
This, as far as I can see, if you're, I mean, you don't need to have a degree to know that this it signals a very negative impact on our marine and coastal life. The fact that we have not begun to clean it up yet.
We should look to put it internationally and embarrass the Prime Minister, because again, this is under your purview. Your PRO come out and ball, she'll give the Prime Minister a 10, but she will give the party itself a 8. Like, what shit you're talking, girl? Your party deserve a 0, because look at how much things failing simultaneously and not a peep. EMA, where them? Where ODPM? We flooding how much weeks now and ODPM can't come out? They put up a lovely post about emancipation. So I was like, where are you when the flood was? Emancipate us from that now. No, they're not there. Where's OSHA? OSHA's supposed to be hot and sweaty inside of Heritage to find out what's going on. Obviously, there's breakdown in systems there. They are not functioning as how they're supposed to.
And not just breakdown in systems, breakdown in leadership, breakdown in terms of change of command, in terms of responsibility. I mean, again, because it's not being reported in the public space, you're not hearing about an investigation, you're not hearing what was the cause of the spill, you're not hearing when it is going to be cleaned up, you're not hearing what is the extent of the damage of this oil spill. It's just something happened, keep it hush-hush. This happened in the south. Hopefully they don't hear about it in the north, because they don't pass the lighthouse anyway. We could keep this hush-hush, sweep it under the carpet, or literally sink it on the ocean floor.
Yeah.
And forget it ever happened. But that's what we do. We pretend these things don't happen, and then somebody eats a poisonous fish 2 weeks down the line, die. We wonder how that happened.
No, they will want to get. And Gary said that oil causes cancer. So therefore, when they get cancer and they have to go St. James Infirmary to get cancer treatment with the drugs that they thief, that they mysteriously recovered in Arangwes, and they didn't pull nobody. They didn't find, they didn't find out what insider job is that, because nobody from the public going to be like, let me go and thief some cancer drugs now.
Before I even start on that case, which has to clearly be the case of an insider, and let's all not let's pretend, or let's not pretend that we don't know what happens with drugs in this country. You can't get drugs for your illness in the hospital, but staff taking it and selling it or using it for their own personal use. Come on, I mean, isn't the Ministry of Health just the national dispensary for the workers who?
Yeah, but the thing about it is, cancer drugs is thing you have to measure with syringe and all these different things. You have to know how to administer that. That's not cancer drugs is not tablets and take 2 paracetamol if you're feeling to vomit. No, cancer drugs is liquid stuff. You have to mix it.
And you know it's real experts involved in this ring, because nobody just gonna steal cancer drugs to not know.
Exactly. And then
the question is, where were they going to resell it to or
TTPS,
give it to?
In a big way. Yeah, we finally did. Well, then how it get there? Who? Which house? Who is the owner of that house in Arangwes? None of these things. And it's like, how is this 21st century policing? I don't get it.
I just going back to what we were just talking about it, because I saw Doll's comment about she's afraid to buy fish and she's not buying none. And that's the second thing. The price of fish now going to go up, and you're going to hear about it. Well, fish hard to get and blah, blah, blah.
And that's south coastline, so they will have to go further out. So that means they will venture more into Venezuelan waters or wherever. So they put in their own life now at further risk because of the pirates and who want to thief the engine and who want to whatever and throw them overboard. And then Coast Guard not operating like how they're supposed to, even though they get 2 new fancy boats, because they can't go and help look for nothing. They don't want to get oil on the new boats.
What Gary mentioned, though, that it was we have had over 400 oil spills in the past 2 years, I believe he said it was. Now, I don't know what are the maths behind that. He is more involved in the environment than me, so he may probably know. But it's not hard to believe that could have happened and we weren't told about it as a nation. I remember the last 2 oil spills that we heard about. You never heard anything?
No.
That's we knew about it, but you didn't hear about any national cleanup efforts or anything like that.
Nothing. That's why EMA head needs to be fired. Everybody in EMA, send their ass home, because they getting free money to do nothing. Nothing. What are you doing? Environmental Management Authority. Well, you're not doing anything.
What are they doing, though, Limo? They're not present for oil spill. They're not present for you could have people in your neighborhood playing music loud, and you call EMA. And what do they do about it?
Nothing. They're not there for the illegal quarrying. They're not there for the illegal quarrying. They're not there for the people who cutting down the mountain in St. James, the people who cutting down the mountains anywhere. They're not there about what's going on in the mangroves. They're not studying the nonsense that's going on with that creek, on the creek by the mangrove there. The EMA just existing and getting free money. You want a free job? Apply to the EMA. Yeah.
But that's how it is. That is literally how it is. You want to do nothing. You want to just be able to rock back and have a title and never have to actually do anything. Join the EMA. And that should be their slogan. That should be their tagline. Want to make money and not have to work for it? EMA is hiring.
Yeah, them, OSHA, ODPM too, because
All of them, they should form a group of companies. The group of
ODPM
companies
right now
where
only
you don't have to wait.
reposting other people information. They're reposting the weather updates, which by the way, people, we're supposed to have scattered showers today. So if you know you're already under flood water, try to, I don't know. Yeah.
Somebody earlier said they don't think God is a Trini anymore because what else could happen to us? Seriously, what else could happen to us? I was watching
What
a
is that a
video
big
of,
onion?
was that?
What is that a big onion? He's not a Trinidadian.
Yeah, God moved to Tobago. He packed up. He said, Ole wasn't ready.
Deal with all your jambiel yourself.
Exactly. Exercise that demon that's all they have. Not me. And I feel so because look at the kind of shit we in right now. Look at it.
Yeah. I used to wonder what would possess that man to go and build that house on Paria Bay and live there by himself. But boy, I
Now
feel
you
like
know.
asking how you do that, brother man. I want one of them thing too.
Ask him if you don't want a neighbor because I was gonna talk about the St. Vincent. St. Vincent on Barbados. I see they have taken to the streets again.
Yes.
And I trying to figure out what batch of slaves we get here or ex-slaves we get here in Trinidad and Tobago that we just don't know how to fight for nothing. The
We
only
get it.
time you hear us making noise is when they stop things like our disability grant, or you ain't getting no more food card, or
But
your
yeah,
stipend. That's the only time we make noise. But everything else, we are the
we get
most
slaves and with children.
complacent bunch of people I have ever seen. Imagine Vincentians getting on better than us.
And that woman should have been playing for the West Indies cricket team, by the way.
The one who did the interview?
No, the one who fell the prime minister and collect him.
Yes, she did an interview. Oh, yes. When he walked to the crowd, and I heard the lady said he knows what he was doing. He was walking through a group of angry people. That
Why
happened in
you do
Trinidad
that?
and Tobago.
When
That
you're
person get
ignorant.
arrested. They will get that would be the issue. I mean, of course, I don't support violence. I don't support pelting the prime minister with anything. I mean, if I see somebody throws an egg on his face, would I laugh? Maybe. Would I be the one throwing the egg? Probably not. So I don't support those things in reality. But we don't have to go so far though. We don't have to throw eggs and rubbish. We just have to stand up. I can't believe that our Caribbean neighbors doing it and we still don't have the belly.
Yeah, because it's not even belly anymore. We are too divided. You have those PNM sycophants who telling you be grateful, be grateful, be grateful. You see Shamfa say it? You'll be grateful for the grants. She wasn't grateful for us voting for her ass to get bleach and weave
She said
and
that.
wig and luxury lifestyle and to pay her $59,000 data bill that she still don't know how to use.
Shamford didn't realize that her whole come up was at the expense of the taxpayers' pockets. Her
Precisely.
entire come up.
Yes. From who she was to what she is now. Two different looking people.
She literally got to reinvent her entire self at our expense, literally.
Yes.
And now she's turning around to tell us be grateful for the things that we should get because it's our money, it's taxpayers' money.
Yes.
Be grateful.
Yeah. But then you have people like that telling you that bullshit. And then you have the sycophants who telling you, PNM is the only one because if it was UNC, we would have get this, that, the other. So you're throwing your Indian versus African bait all over the place. And that is why you attack doubles. That is why rivers still closed. That is why foreign used car companies getting higher taxes. That is why bars close.
I am in a game. I'm in a game. I'm in a group on Facebook, a driving group, but most of the group discussion is about politics. And Stefan, I'm going to talk about your issue about NLCB in a little bit. We come into that in just a short bit. But this group that is mainly about politics. One of the reasons why that group is mainly on mute for me, because every time somebody posts something about this present government,
Mm-hmm.
somebody gonna have to come and say something about the UNC government. I mean, it's a cross section of people across different parties, PEP,
Yeah.
UNC, PNM, all the parties put together. But and if somebody come and say something that the UNC did, somebody have to come and say something that the PNM did. And if it's one thing for the life of me, they say insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. I don't know how people do realize by now that we have literally been seeing the same things over and over and over and over. And UNC bad and PNM bad, and UNC just be good sometimes and PNM just do good sometimes. But this is my part. Like, at what point we're going to realize that both of them have to take, and I'm not even going to say equal, because I need to be fair and I need to be honest. PNM was in power for the majority of the time.
Yeah.
The majority of the time. So all the people, all the sycophants who PNM this and UNC do that, let's be honest. Let's just, numbers are numbers and facts
You
are
know what
facts
it
and
is
figures
say?
don't
You know
lie.
what it is say? UNC make up for that when it's 2010. And I was like, listen to me when
In
that bullshit
5 years, UNC was
14
able to
years
keep
of
out all its
PNM.
kidneys in 45 years.
Yeah. So that's why I had to hit them when PNM come up with a new thing. Now I was like, what? Is that one of the 1970 mandates that they never get to fulfill that they now want to bring in 2021?
Come now, man, people. Like I say, that group is mainly on mute because I can't take the. I waiting for the day people say, you know, for all the years I supported PNM, I can't believe it's so hard for me to get a salary relief grant. Or for all the years I support the UNC, what I have to show first? Flood, oil spill,
Yeah.
lockdown.
Because the same foolishness that where PNM does ignore their constituencies. We have everything wrong. Everything wrong. Any PNM constituency, everything wrong with it. But UNC, you have poor drainage, poor irrigation, you have flooding. You have the roads higher and the houses are lower level. And it's like, but what UNC was doing too, their constituency is not in a great state.
They are really, really, really not. And guys, just so you know, we have started taking calls on the. Why is this one piece just sticking? You seeing it? Just, I don't know. It's weird. We started taking calls, so you can reach us this morning on 471-2888. I put the number up on the ticker tape. If you would like to reach out to us, 471-2888 is the number, and you can call in live, say good morning to me and Lima, or say good morning to anybody else. Share your opinions with us, or talk about anything, or touch on anything that we would have spoken about this morning. 471-2888. Anyway, back to the topic at hand. But what were we talking about?
Look, somebody saying UNC build the drains to run the rain into the sea. Okay, so what about the drains from in Barrackpore and Penal and those drains? They didn't finish it or something? Because those are the areas that always.
I think she's being sarcastic. That's what we do. We build the box drains to take the water that we don't have in our taps now to send it straight out into the sea, because somewhere in that plan, nobody thought, you know, instead of just washing away the water and then complaining for the next 5 months of the year that we have none, maybe we should catch it. Maybe we should store it. Maybe we should treat it. And maybe we should redistribute it when we are in periods of drought. Maybe that's an idea.
They're dredging the rivers. But as I said, why it is they didn't take a small boat and travel from the mouth of the river up and see if there's a particular problem there?
Let's take a call. Hello, good morning. You were live on Cutting Edge, but you hung up. So if you would like to call again, The number is 471-2888. Tracy asked about what about the laptops they gave out to the school children and the baby grants and the food cards. Laptops was a great idea, terrible execution. There was zero accountability. By the end of the school term, most of the laptops were mashed up. The thing about the UNC government and what they were able to do that was different from the PNM government, and they did it well, was spend money. They spent a lot of money. They built all kind of things. They initiated all kinds of programs that were not sustainable.
I don't think they should have given laptops to children. I think they should have more improved the structure of the school education system to incorporate it. So build computer labs so they could go in, or put projectors and those kind of screens so the teacher could have pulled up the videos and everybody sit down and watch it and all those things. Giving children laptops that not mentally prepared to handle it, with parents who don't understand how to take care of certain things and keep it safe because, hey, I got a free laptop. That's the problem with that. They should have more focused it on having the schools have it and secure the schools so people don't come and thief it. So that not only the children leaving SCA with the laptops, but all the other children coming up could now use those same laptops to be able to do whatever work, school work or whatever they would have been doing with the laptops. So it wasn't a bad idea, but it should not have been given to individual children. It should have been a computer lab in the school, get them computer savvy and ready. So now that COVID happened, that is when this government was supposed to give everybody one, if they didn't have one already.
And that is what you call
take care of
it. Execution. The idea of giving children laptops all free willy-nilly and putting no security measures in place. I pull in for the word here and it's not coming to me. But putting no measures in place to protect the equipment, to make sure that the equipment can be used further down for posterity, making sure that other children can benefit from it, making sure that it doesn't get scrapped for parts by the scrap iron people. Like those.
Or your brother take it to use it for his DJ thing because he to do with it. That's what people did, and there was no responsibility added to it. And it's just like you get something quick and easy, and it mash up and go, and you didn't understand how important it was or how needed it is. And that's what the problem. So you give these children that leaving laptops. What about the rest of the children? That is not something you could have sustained every single year. You should have done the computer labs and incorporate technology with the education system and change it up. And that way they could have now introduced things like app building in primary school, so children would have learned how to build their own little apps. They could have learned to do all kind of computer stuff in primary school. So you would have seen a generation of tech-savvy children already ready to hit IT in secondary school and do bigger, better things. We could have at the end of the year, for standard 5 students, they could have had a competition on app building, some app building competition. Who come up with the best app or whatever, and you get people to come and judge, and the child could have won his own computer system where he could now advance into better IT stuff, app building, programming, whatever.
But we didn't.
That's what I would have done if I was education minister. But hey,
the Chinese proverb, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. We would have been reaping the fruits and the benefits of all of that had we done it. Hello, good morning. You are live on Cutting Edge.
Good morning, Lemon, Felicia.
Good morning.
How are the girls doing?
We're good.
This is Debbie. This is Debbie calling from Belfast.
Hi, Debbie from Belfast.
Belfast. Thanks very much, you two ladies, coming out, bringing together all the drama in place in Trinidad.
You're breaking up a little bit, love. Okay. She seems to be having a poor connection.
I can't because of big pets. Hello?
Hi. Yes, no, I was saying that your connection is breaking up a little.
Oh, sorry about that. So I was just saying, thanks very much to you and Lima for having a voice and trying to bring, what's happening in Toronto to the people so that they could see and understand and just try and get the courage to come out as well. Thanks for being there, for showing mom. I really, that was really commendable. Thank you all so much. I try to listen to the program on mornings, and sometimes I miss it, but I try to be there and support. So yeah, all the best, and have a good day.
Thank you for that. Enjoy your day as well.
Bye later.
Bye. All right, thanks for that call. We got that call all the way from Belfast. That means we have people listening to us all around the world. Guys, if you'd like to call, the number is 471-2888. Richard just said, I'll vote for you, Lima. Just make sure when you put in the X next to her name is 2 M's, not 1. L-I-M-M-A. Get it? L-I-M-M-A. Get it right. Anyway. Moving on into the other topics while we wait to see if anybody wants to reach out to us. We do have to discuss the issue of, well, not the issue, but the excitement of the lottery booths reopening and injecting an additional $2.5 million into the jackpot, because Lotto is life and Lotto is more important than working and earning money to pay for your children's school books and socks and uniform and jockey shorts. Play Lotto instead. Buy a mark. You might win $2.5 million. No, it's up. I think the estimated Lotto jackpot is 2.7.5.
I wonder though, is that vaccinated people money alone, or is that also unvaccinated?
I don't know. So I hope when whoever wins that they are certain to separate the piles into unvaccinated money and vaccinated money. Because if unvaccinated people use their money, you know what that means. Unvaccinated people carry the plague.
Yeah. The same plague you could get vaccinated too and still spread. But hey, it's just different when you're unvaccinated. It's hit
on Wednesday. I'm hoping to have somebody from the Retail Association come on the program, even if just for a little bit. They've been reaching out, basically trying to get attention to the fact that their industry has been closed for well over 3 months.
Too long.
And
you want to open.
Is going to open next month,
September, right? So this is what they have rolled out so far. Standard 4s and 5s will be going out every day. Standard 2 to 3 will be going out twice a week. Standard 1 and infants once a week, right? So, okay, we are a little too soon to say yes for sure that this could happen, because you're opening retail August the 16th. That is going to be a major rush for people to buy school books, uniform, and for children is a whole set of uniform, because it's PE, it's regular and dress uniform. That is sneakers too, school bags, right? When Shoe Locker and Skechers and all these places close for so long, and they come out now to sell it halfway dry food, who buying that? Who's supposed to buy that? And then you're not giving them enough time to come and sell out the old stock to bring in new stock in time for school to open. So I hope the Ministry of Education put things in place for the children who don't have uniforms and sneakers ready, because the parents also have to work Shoe Locker or Payless or whoever to get a salary to buy those things for the children in September. So you see the madness that they having going on there. These people just don't think, they don't make. Why didn't you open retail earlier? And you could have told them, not every day. You could open probably 3 days a week or some kind of thing to that effect to the public. And then the other 2, you could have done your back end stuff, bring out your old stock. Obviously, you have to reduce prices. Where's Consumer Affairs now to come out and advise people, be careful when you're buying sneakers or shoes or handbags or whatever. Look for certain
What you
things.
saying, girl? What you saying? Consumer who? They on the same boat with EMAs floating off somewhere in space, clearly, and
Well, at least
do they?
consumer affairs answer their phone.
They do? Well,
Yes.
that's
Yes.
amazing. We have to test that one of these mornings on the program, and we have to
But
call and ask
I
them what
have
do we do, or
3
what do people
children.
do if they buy
That's-
sneakers and they dry ruts? What's that?
That's 3. I have 3 children, so that's 3 sets of sneakers, right? So where I buying sneakers for September, because all 3 of them will be going to school. Shoe locker, and then what? When I buy it in August, and by the time rainfall in September, and she run through two steps of rain, and then she walk out the sole of the shoe or some kind of thing because it dry rot, they just pack up so long. What is my position?
After you spend that money.
After I spend that money, because a proper school sneaker is about 500. You don't want the cheap stuff, because guess what? They don't last long. And I fed up of buying sneakers every term. So I prefer to buy one that would last the whole year. And that costs money.
Look, Joel Alexis said he needs a good pair of shoes. You think this government care?
Yeah.
You think the government can? I remember people not working out here. They're depending on Playway, but that is true. You depend.
Yeah.
That is literally what the priority of the nation in the steps and the order which the nation has reopened itself has proven. We are placing more emphasis on the gambling industry than the retail industry.
But mind you, if DSS was still open, people would have been making their money to buy whatever, to do whatever, right? But only DSS could get charged for money laundering. Nobody else does do money laundering in Trinidad and Tobago. Nobody. Only DSS. Karen Priest is what? 40? For the most? 40. Like say 45 for the most, right? He only doing this how much? About 10 to 15 years? But he alone responsible for money laundering in Trinidad and Tobago? 21st century.
Shelly Ann Mohammed said the reopening of schools for infants for one day and standards 2 and 3 for 2 days does not make any sense at all. I agree with you. What is the point?
And then watch what it is, right? So if you have more than one child, you have to hustle. Get down the road to drop the child off for every day for 8:30. School will call, right? Then to rush back home to get online for 9 o'clock with the rest. How that making sense? How is that going to make sense? And then the stipulations they want in the school where the children have to be social distanced. How are you going to keep that up when all of the classes eventually get back out to normal? Because like Belmont girls, they don't have a large space capacity to social distance in the classrooms. Newtown girls don't have that either. Gloucester Lodge Primary School don't have that either. All those small primary schools don't have that ability to social distance when everybody is to get back in. How are you going to have children wear a mask whole day? It's children. They want to see their teacher hug and kiss miss. They want to hug up their friends. They want to share their snack. They want to exchange snacks. I don't like what mommy packed for me for lunch. You want to exchange? Your food looking better than mine. You want to exchange?
Tracy Ramona Mohammed said, I think children should be home and let's see what the next year, January 2022, brings us. I think they are rushing things too much. I agree with you, Tracy. I think they're rushing for us to go and spend money on things like uniforms and school books and shoes that are probably unnecessary anyway. Somebody mentioned to spend all of that money for what? For them to come and announce that we're going to shut down the country again?
I don't mind they send out children. You see, Standard 4s and Standard 5s need the help right now, especially as they don't want to abolish SCA. And they have plenty of children that need that teacher in front of them.
Imagine that. We can't move into something new because something old that doesn't work anyway, that is divisive. Because I have never, imagine we have division in education as well. Everything in this freaking country divided. It's not working, and we can't move on to something new because we insist we have to hold on to something that is not working, divisive, and creating unfair opportunities for our children. Let's take a call. Hello, good morning. You're live on Cutting Edge.
Hi, good morning, Felicia. How are you?
Good morning, I'm good.
I'm Lima. Good morning. How are you, Lima?
Hi, morning. I'm good.
Excellent. I just want to say thank you. I'm a first-time caller. I guess since I've been introduced to the program, it's been a little bit addictive. So I just want to say thank you for highlighting all of the issues that are currently taking place. I appreciate that. It's like you guys are my breakfast. It's like you're my Crix and my Milo. I appreciate that very much. I might want to ask you a question. I want to ask you about my little niece. I'm actually thinking about, I don't know, taking her out of that school and doing some type of a homeschooling, just given the situation that is taking place right now. The teachers, I know how much they're trying with the best that they can do, but it's very hard for my little niece at the moment. So I would like to, I don't know, take her out of school and do some sort of a homeschooling where she would get some sort of a more personalized type of a care. And I don't know, I think there's some sort of a procedure to be done with the Ministry of Education. And I'm not quite sure of the procedure. I know we have to write some sort of a case, pleading some case to the ministry so that they can allow the child out of school. I'm not quite sure to give them insight on that. And other than that, thank you very much and enjoy your day. I'll take you in. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Homeschool
is not a bad idea, but you still have to remember that the child must still have a certain requirement for physical school as well. So they still have to go to school. I think it's 1 day a month or some kind of thing like that. That is one of the stipulations for homeschooling. The child must still physically, yes, in school to show that they could still adapt to and talk to other children and stuff. That is what they had when a few years ago. I don't know if it has changed or if they have increased the amount of days the child have to go to school. But I think you can find out the information on the website. There's a homeschooling network or some kind of thing to ensure that, so you can find out, because a lot of parents do that for certain schools in certain areas. I know a lot of parents do that. The child still have to go to school, especially if they have to do the SEA exam. So they require them to still be able to, integrate in school and know people and be able to associate and socialize and all these different things. So I don't mind doing that either. You see what's going on in this place. But you see,
your kids.
Yeah, but you see, you still have to allow children to be children. You don't want them to be selfish and not be able to, know what comes with it. And I find, school, builds the children's character too.
Indeed. Because, your school years are supposed to be your formal and informal training years, and that's supposed to be preparing you for adulthood. Joelle Alexis said, now ladies, I agree what you're saying. Could I give you an example? People are out here fed up with this mask wearing now. What are your points on the bars and the church with all due respect? Okay, those are three things. The mask, the bars, and the churches. The mask, personally, I hate it. I always go places and forget it. I went into a whole, where did I go? I went somewhere. I can't remember where I went. Oh, I walked into Massey stores someday it was, and before I even reached the door, everybody around me was watching me like I had scabies or something. And then somebody pointed to me and I realized I didn't. I was like, well, somebody could have said I didn't have on my mask, and I turned back and I had to go back and it's not the first time in history society has been forced to walk around wearing masks. They've had it, before my time, but they've had several. I can't remember all. I remember when there was the Great Plague, people used to walk around with these cone-looking, kind of freaky-looking bird kind of masks. I hate it, but apparently it's what is supposed to be helping us from not contracting COVID-19. So I would rather wear it than right now go and take that Sinopharm vaccine, and that is my personal decision as it pertains to and only because there's just not enough research behind what these vaccines can be doing. They have been given emergency approval by the FDA.
I want the
but
force,
they have no official approval yet. It's just emergency approval. So maybe when there's more research into the effects of it, I might consider taking it. Bars and churches, I mean, if the lotto booth could open, why not other things?
If St. Christopher could flicking sell beer 5 to 7 happy hour bullshit, then you could more than open.
Then you can more than open the bars and the churches.
That's bullshit. If St. Christopher's could sell food, whatever, then everywhere else could open. You want to open the country, you could jet set on a plane, ram out with all you and a whole set other people. Well, then church could damn well open, and God will save you too from getting COVID if you think. Have faith in your Lord.
Thank you, Roger Benito. 1918, the Spanish flu. Yes, and there was some more a little higher up in the centuries. I think in the 1950s or 60s, they used to wear around World War II time. I know they used to wear masks. George Samuel said, "I choose to wear 3 masks and a face shield and to take a vaccine." I don't disagree with you. I dwell not into the Sinopharm thing. Again, if you choose to take it, that is your constitution.
I asked you a question. Right. Was there this hype for the hepatitis vaccine or the TB vaccine and all of that? I don't remember. I mean, I got the TB vaccine because it was a big thing going around at that point in time. I've never gotten it, thank God. But TB is an actual, really dangerous disease. It's spread. They didn't ask you to wear a mask and all of that too.
Let's get moving, back to living. You heard that song? Would you be jobbing? Listen, they realize in this country, the way to make you do anything, just sing it. Put it in a song, and we whining all the way. We need line whining down to the ground waiting for we.
Yeah, but that's not working, Felicia. It's not, because the fact that you still have Chinese laundry coming to sell people the bullshit about, it's like trying to get Buljol without the salt. You want to go to the beach, blah, 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 stupidness. Like you're trying to, identify with Trinidadians with that. Come on, no. You have no evidence whatsoever that the beach, salt water, river water, any kind of water gives you COVID. So open the beaches. Stop trying to tell people that, you can't be protecting you from yourself. No, you don't protect me, thanks. I want to go in the beach. I want my salt water. You have no proof, no evidence. All them beach party that they had in the earlys on Tyrico Bay, you hear any one of them people get COVID? You hear any mass breakout from that? No. You hear any mass breakout from people outside in the open? How it is no piper, no vagrant ever get COVID and drop down on dead? It's because open in the elements, you are better off. It's when you're stuck in an air-conditioned building and you're cooped up inside and the place not ventilated is where it's spreading. How do you think police officers get it?
Go ahead.
A lot of police officers get it. How you feel all the nurses and the doctors get it? Because it's spread rampantly in the hospital, because it's an enclosed area with no fresh breeze passing through. That is common sense. You could see that. And they were supposed to see that from last year to now to change up some of the things, because now it has moved from health to a political thing, and they're making it into this political prison of control, and that is what they're trying to do. Open everything. You open the borders, but you're still, what you coming here to do? To stay in your house? You can't go in the beach? You can't go in the river? Please.
Actually, you just reminded me. Today, imagine that the lotto booths open before the beach.
The beach, exactly.
We back the front as a whole country,
You're gonna see about 50 old people line up to play 36, but you can't go in the beach, and old people do social distance.
I still have my ticket. I should have bring it inside. I still have my ticket that I was issued on June the 25th, 2021 for parking my car on the coastline of Manzanilla Beach when 2 officers, superintendent, whatever his name is, from the Guayari Police Station.
What? Guaya? We have a police station? No, that is Manzanilla.
Is it Guaya? No, Manzanilla. Sorry, the Manzanilla Police Station.
Oh,
yeah.
Manzanilla.
Pulled up and gave me a They said they were coming from Guaya. Sorry, they were doing patrols. Yeah. Gave me my ticket, and I am not going to pay. I refuse to pay that ticket. Gary. What's his name?
What's Gary's last name? Oh, Griffith.
Commissioner Police Gary Griffith. Was that linked?
They said they came from Guaya, but that's not the direction they came from in your life.
Really? You saw them pull up? I never even see which direction they came in. They came from Manzanilla side?
Yeah.
Look, I didn't even know that. Yes, Gary Griffith, I am not going to pay that ticket. I think it is unfair, and it was just frame that ticket. It might be worth something in the future. It might be. I'm going to sign it.
Yeah, because that police officer is a wicked person, because guess what? You have nowhere to pay for it. And then you buy yourself.
You writing me a ticket and telling me, well, I don't really have anywhere to pay it anyway, this is just a formality. So what you're giving it for?
And then if you don't pay it, and they could probably send warrant officer for you. As I post up already, Gary send good-looking police who fit and look good in the uniform for me.
Exactly. Guys, if you're standing them, make sure you send the hottest looking one. I taken my arrest.
Yeah.
All right, if you're just joining the live, share the video, because we're having a lovely discussion this morning. Where were we? We were on the beaches that have not yet reopened, but there are lots of booths that reopening today. Somebody said they're gonna play Jackass for the most obvious Jackass that we know of right now in the country. And yeah, Latoya Sparkle Crystal Boswell, that's a lot of names. She said TT Post. I don't know what that was in response to, but I'm just reading some of the comments on the live. Australia stated and proved it's better to be outdoors, especially the beaches. And they said even exercising outdoors, there were no cases. That's from Jeffrey Griffith. I mean, I feel like so many things are common sense. And I think in a year, 2 years, 3 years, and 5, 10 years, when we look back on the COVID-19, 2019 to 2022, because I'm anticipating this is going to roll all into 2022.
Yes.
When we're going to look back on it, we as an entire nation, we as the globe, we are going to look back and realize that we did apply so many overcorrection methods to the COVID-19 pandemic that we probably made things way worse than it needed to be. Shutting down the economy.
Again, Felicia, it shows that our government is not an evolving one. You saw what happened all over the world. You saw how people handle it. You saw how other countries mishandle it, and you were supposed to be able to learn from that and change it up as it goes. You can't come and say, okay, right, so New Zealand do that, we're going to do that too. You have to tweak it to suit your people, your culture, your country, your climate. And they're not doing that. So again, these people too stupid to do anything, and it shows the education system. They're not willing to evolve it. You're not willing to change a lot of systems. And that's the problem. And I said that in the beginning. In 2019, I said, or it's 2020, I said that COVID-19 is going to show up all the failures of the systems that PNM instituted that they never evolved. And it is true. Look at the healthcare system.
Yeah. Oh, she was saying that I could pay the ticket in TT Post.
No, but for the COVID-19, you can't, because they don't have the legislative aspect of it ready. So even if you pay it, where's the money going? There's nowhere the money is going. There's nowhere. And it's not to say TTPS getting this money, which I don't understand. Police out there ticketing people, you swear, going in a TTPS bank account where they could say, right, so we're taking that money, we're going to buy some new vehicles, we're going to fix the ones that our police can't drive, and they're only mashing up in drain and crossing rivers. right? We will have fuel for the boat and etc. etc. No, that's not what they take any money. They putting it into the Ministry of Finance, and then we don't know what happened with the money after that, because police could, if I call Belmont police now, they will say, ma'am, we don't have a vehicle, or yeah, we come in, and they don't ever come.
Gypsy just said the government is redundant and it made itself become that way. Somebody else said that Trinidad and Tobago is on autopilot right now.
Yeah.
And we have something called a government, a formal government. But we running, Latoya says she won back her money. She paid her tickets and now she realized that the money not going to them. Go and get back your money, girl.
In your comments, what is government doing with the DSS money? Well, Karen put out a release recently where they said that they're going to court for whatever charges that they have, and it's a lot of money, boy. A lot of money.
Plenty.
Yeah. So, look, Levi is saying the virus is just an excuse to violate our rights and to see how much we will obey. And clearly, Trinidadians are willing to obey.
Did you look at Philip's video yesterday with the 233?
No, I didn't get to see that.
There's this conspiracy that surrounds COVID-19 that several countries were reporting 233 deaths in today, well, on whatever day the story was reported. But the number 233, when you look, we had it. So there was one day the news reported 233 deaths in Trinidad and Tobago. And at least 10 or 12 other countries had the exact same headline, 233. So I don't know if that is just a case of coincidence, but I find it very questionable coincidence that so many countries around the world reported that one specific number, 233 deaths that day. Like, was there an agreement? Well, let's not say 230 because 230 might sound implausible. So let's put this as a kind of odd number where more people might be willing to believe. I don't know, but it begs some questions. It's very strange that so many countries around the world are recording the exact same numbers. And
hold on,
sure, no problem. It's very concerning that they all recording the exact same numbers, which is lending to the conspiracy theories that are floating around surrounding COVID-19. Yeah, it was The Guardian. Thanks to that, Terrence. Daniel asked, when will the SOE done? I believe August the 30th is the last constitutional day that we can be under a state of emergency. So that gives us just about 21 more days until this government can release its vice grip over the nation. And I mean, it's long overdue. It's the fact that we've been stuck in our homes between 9 and 5 a.m. every morning. It's beyond annoying. I know I would like to stay out later than 9 o'clock, but we have to wait until August the 30th, and God forbid they come and extend the state of emergency, which I very much hope they don't. I hope we don't get any new numbers. I hope we don't hear another 233 deaths. I hope we don't hear another 500 new cases. Gypsy just says 233 is a sign for people to understand that they are being played with this pandemic. That's what's really a scandemic, plandemic. I can't say yes or I can't say no to that. I can't say that there are too many questions surrounding all that is happening. Yes, August the 31st is the day that we are coming out with Philip to deliver those 128,000 signed petitions to government. And I'll make a little plug right now for if anybody wants to call in, because we are just way over the time that we normally wrap up. 4712888 if you would like to call in. If you'd like to purchase your cut t-shirts, I don't have one in front of me right now, but we have cut t-shirts on sale for $100 if you'd like delivery. Add $25 onto that, so $125 for your t-shirt plus delivery. You can pick up in the office. If you would like to collect, if you'd like to get 1, 2, 3 or more, you can call me on 769-4590. You look like you went and shared some licks there.
No, the dog come inside and make a mess.
Oh, sad face. All right. Well, we're nearing the end of the program. Lims, anything you want to say? Anything we didn't touch on before we wrap up this morning?
No, I think we covered everything. It's just, the fact that they're willing to allow certain things to just fall to the side and get shoved under the rug and keep quiet. And it's like, why you insist on doing that? That's not helping Trinidad and Tobago. You're just stagnating us further. Look at the issue with US, right? PriceSmart saying a lot of things they wouldn't be able to bring. Why? But then you've seen all these car places, brand new car showroom having brand new cars park up in the car park all over the place, their warehouses and whatnot. So what? When I can't get US, do I go Kia Motors? Do I go Land Rover? Do I go Modi, Answer, Neil Massey, whoever?
Where are they getting the foreign exchange?
Yes, they're getting it, and it's priority for them to get it. How is it not priority for food to get the US? What, are we going to eat a car when we run out of food? We're going to eat a politician? What we doing? How is food not a priority? But brand new cars. So you telling me the bank will tell me, you can get a car, a loan for a car, instead of getting a loan to, I don't know, do something else?
Yeah, that's what they say. They will give you money for a car. They will give you money for a carnival costume. But to buy a home or to start a business?
Yeah. And we saw wrong side. Why? A lot of countries adapted and evolved. They were able to create employment during this pandemic. What we do, we close down everybody and then have the audacity for Dotish Donna to tell people, oh, you're greedy. And she's trying to redeem herself now by helping everybody now. Then you have ungrateful Shamfa coming to tell people.
Helping or handouts? All PNM know is handouts, Lemma. Yeah. Helping would be creating sustainable employment and development for the depressed and oppressed and underserved communities that they represent, that make up the majority of their base. When they talk about the base of the PNM, it's talking about all the underserved, underprivileged, downtrodden people whose backs they ride and climb on to get into parliament and then turn their backs on when they make it.
Yeah, like yesterday I shared my video from last year when we were campaigning, when Stuart Young passed with his motorcade and he was waving like the queen, and then when he saw me he do that. So I shared that video and I was like, look at that. You do your motorcade for election, you win. Where you now? When your people need you? Our roads in a mess. Poor electricity flow, no water, flooding now. Where is Stuart Young? Right, that's who all you vote for. Where the MP?
All he hears crickets chirping.
Yeah.
Because he is non-existent. Where's the MP? Where's our local government councillor? Where's ODPM? Where's EMA? Where's the government? Where's OSHA? Where's the president? We should just put out a blanket missing persons report.
Yeah.
All the people who supposed to be front and center but just missing.
Yeah, and then you have the president and the prime minister talking about, oh, all unvaccinated, stay away from me. Paula, time to resign then, because you want to discriminate against citizens. You don't care do nothing to help nobody. You ain't want to have a soup kitchen to feed the homeless, nothing. And you want to have the audacity now to tell the unvaccinated who paying for your luxury lifestyle to stay away from you? Time to vacate that position, woman. Time to get to step in. Because you ain't saying, well, only vaccinated taxpayers will pay for my salary. You're taking it from unvaccinated too. She have real audacity.
I read a comment from George Samuel. George Samuel is one of the most prolific posters in the Citizens Union group. He's always sharing some post that makes sense, hitting the nail on the head every time. He said, Trinidad, don't do like me and be politically unconscious. For years thinking because they're black like us, they cared about us. Open your eyes. Open your eyes, people, and open them big, because there's one thing.
Don't do like Keith Scotland, and wait after decades of downtown flooding because is now the MP, your eye now open, and it flood the week after with your eye open. I wonder if they close back now or it open wider.
The only thing I could hope for with these flood waters is that this is the Lord metaphorically cleansing us, and feel free to become literal too, Lord, and just wash the ones that we don't need away. Just saying, sorry, not sorry. I will end my contribution for the day on that note, asking God to wash away bad people. My God, I'm terrible. Anyway, June said it's not race, it's money in charge. And that's true. At the top, they don't care about who skin color look like what. You think Clarence and Frankie got, well, I won't call it. You think Clarence and the rest and the Alsing and you think they care?
No. After
at the top, it's all about money and perks and salary.
Winning. It's just about winning to get, not winning to serve. That is what it is for PNM and UNC. Winning
and we at the bottom here would fight up for the dregs.
Yeah.
Thinking is gold.
Yeah. Because the week after Terrence, the bossy file about him buying Land Cruiser Prado, the week after he went to give out hampers in his constituency after they haven't seen him for how long. I had to comment on his post. I hope you went with your brand new Prado. So he could weep in it some more, flood it out.
To the 135 people, 34 now watching us, it is past my time to end this program. I have to take my leave. And yes, Deborah, Arthur, I agree with you. No PNM, no UNC. Yes, TNC. 1000% agree with that. It's about time we start thinking country first rather than party first. Party first has gotten us exactly where we are today.
Yeah.
Folks, thank you for sticking with us through this extra long edition of Cutting Edge. Thank you for all our callers. Thank you to the caller who called in and made us blush. He was like, what he said we are his Cricks and cheese?
Cricks and Milo.
Cricks and Milo.
Yeah.
Blush. We're his Cricks and milk or Milo or whatever in the morning. Thank you for that compliment. Much appreciated. And yes, August the 31st, we are on the streets. Let us see what they're going to do to try and hijack that.
Yeah.
But jump high, jump low. Once there's no state of emergency, we will be in front of Parliament. Guys, thank you for being here. I'll leave Limit to close. I'll see you all again on Wednesday.
All right, guys. Remember, we're still in a pandemic. We are expecting some rain today, scattered showers, I believe. So remember to prepare yourself for that. Walk with your umbrella, your rain boots, because tongue does flood. And secure your homes before you leave to come to Port of Spain. And remember, we're still in a pandemic, so sanitize, wash your hands, and social distance. Be safe, people.
Bye.
Bye.